Thank you, Beth. So we just installed a new release. It happened last Thursday. There was a new release installed. So on Friday, when you logged in, you would see some of these updates that are happening. I think it's been a really smooth start to the school year. There hasn't been too many hiccups, I don't think. So hopefully everybody feels the same way, and we have been going pretty smoothly through. But some of the things that are going to be that were updated with the last release, there's these are just the basic student information side, not the EMIS side. I know Brianne and Shelley went over all of the EMIS updates, which were a lot of updates, but they went over all of those updates with their EMIS coordinators. So I tried to just hit the slides that would affect, for the most part, affect you guys or folks that you are typically working with. So on the student membership copy screen, there are different memberships now available. So these are under the membership group 21. I'm not going to go through all of these individually. I will send this recording out as well as the slide deck so that you can go back through and review everything and pass it on to the folks that need it. But there were quite a few memberships that were added. There is also now, I think it was the end of last year, there was a field that was added in on manually entered course history, and it is the completed date field. So this is going to be used for grad credits when they're calculating everything for the students. So the only time you really need to know about or to enter this in is, let's say a student moves into your school district mid-year and they received half a credit for a course. You need to be able to put that date completed in there, and that date completed is going to then generate the grad credits. And this is something that I know Shelley and Brianne have been talking about with the EMIS coordinators. It is one of those things that's on there that needs to be entered in and for all of your EMIS reporting. But now there's going to be a little information pop-up box just showing that it's only required for grad credits at entry if the credit was earned at the current school prior the current school year prior to them enrolling. So like I said, if a student maybe comes mid-year and they earned half credit for certain classes, you have to put that date completed in there for when they've earned those high school credits. And again, that was released, I think at the end of last year. I had sent a message out to the team leaders about that one. So hopefully everybody is already doing that and is entering that information in. But just as a kind of a heads up, there's now that little eye that you can hover over, and it will let you know when that information is needed. If at any time anybody has questions, please feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat.
Should we progress to the next slide?
Oh my goodness, yes, I'm so sorry. I was changing the slide on my other screen. Thank you so much. So this is the slide that I just talked about. So you will now have that little eye to be able to hover over the date completed field. And this is only on manually entered course history. So thank you so much. I have too many screens happening right now.
Megan, is Kathy.
Yeah.
Okay, so after we do that, like I talked to Frontline at the conference about this and asked why there wasn't an asterisk there.
Yes.
They said it's not needed all the time.
Correct.
I recommended to my high school that they needed to put that in every time. Is that going to hurt anything if we do have that date completed date on all of them, even if it's not for someone that just came into the district?
The date completed field really is what's going to generate those credits that they're earning. So are they earning credits at that previous district? And to my knowledge, I'll double check on that. Brianne, do you know the answer to that one?
As far as I know, as long as the credit that's getting entered is high school credit, it's not going to hurt anything to have that
Okay.
entered in there. Now, if you don't want to put high school credit in for an elementary or middle school course, because then it's going to look like it's getting high school credit for those courses, and that's not what you want to do.
Okay. So even if, are you saying they're putting it in for previous years as well, Kathy?
Well, so we didn't even do this last year. So I ran the report that Matt made. We went through and put the date completed in all of them, had to do the core update thing in each specific year and do it that way. But yeah, we're putting it in for everyone. I don't understand. I would think that they would code it if it was. I don't think that you would put in this for elementary if it wasn't high school. So I, I, it would seem to me that putting it in all the time would not hurt anything.
So if all of your reporting from the previous years is done, they don't need to enter that date in for previous year data when they're putting everything in. This field is only if they've earned a credit during that specific school year. So I don't think that it's going to, I think all of your reporting should already be done at, well, that Brian, I don't know how that's going to look
So,
at previous
so
year
if someone just entered though, and they're in 11th grade and they've completed courses
for the current
in
year.
when they were a freshman,
So
then that would have to be done, wouldn't it?
no, this is
Because
only
that's a
for the current
previous year.
So, so you only need to my knowledge, you only need the date completed when they move in for your current year. So if they have earned half a credit and they move in at semester time, or if they earned a quarter of a credit and they move in right now, that's when we need to put that date completed in because that's what's going to factor in for those credits to be counted in. So everything previously is already going to be, they've earned those credits. They earn those credits at the end of each school year. This is just if they come in mid-year and they have already earned credits from a previous school, we want to honor that previous school credit that they earned for that current year and add it to our credits. Does that?
Well, okay, so I guess I'm confused. So if a, a junior comes in,
Mhm.
and they can come in mid-year, they earned half a credit. We're going to put that in date completed for the half semester for FY25. However, they also have credits that were earned in FY24
So those
for
ones are going
geometry. So am I using the date completed as like May 31st, 2024
no.
on that? Or am I putting the date completed as when they come to my district?
So that date completed when that school year completed. You don't have to fill that in. And that's why Frontline said that it's not a required field because it's only going to be required for the current year that you're sitting in. So when they enter that manually entered course history, they have the drop down to choose the school year as to which school year that manually entered course history is going to flow into. If they choose a previous school year, that school year has already been done and completed. So they are earning that credit and they're getting that information in for that specific school year. The guidance that I have had back from state support is only for the current school year is when that information, that date completed field is filled in. Because I specifically asked them why it didn't have a red asterisk. Probably the same question that you asked, because I was curious, like, this is a field that's needed. Why is it not there? And they said it is only used for the current school year.
Okay, so if they entered a manually entered school or course and they hit 24-25, however, the date completed is May 31st, 2024, is that credit then not going to show
No, it'll show
for
because,
this year?
well, it won't show for this year because why would you choose 24-25 if you finished it last year?
Okay.
You would choose the 23-24 school year because that would be when they were a 10th grader. Does that help?
It does. I think we did it wrong. I'm concerned that they put all the manually entered courses in the school year 24-25. I'll have to check.
So
I'll have to look.
they probably wouldn't do that because if they do, then that's going to show their grade year incorrect for the student. So it'll show everything incorrect. It'll show on their transcript, it would show everything in that current grade level. So more than likely, I'm pretty sure that Kathy always selects the school year. But I will follow up with her just to confirm that.
I can follow up with it, Megan. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I guess I'm just concerned now. If she didn't choose that, then I should go through and change all the date completed. Do you think that would be right?
No, if she didn't select the right school year, she needs to delete those out and select the right school year to put them in.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting very
Okay.
specific on your meeting. I will stop. Thank you,
I'll
Megan.
follow up with you after this.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody else have questions about this? Okay. So the next screen that I have is on graduation eligibility. This is not to be confused with the graduation points area, which is the area that is pushed out from state support with all of the required pieces for state reporting. Graduation eligibility is the piece that we can customize for each district. So that is the piece where you can say, yes, the state requires X number of credits to graduate, but our school and our district require this number. So we can change things, and it was kind of outdated. Talk at the state level is we're going to try to combine these pages somehow. We're still working through that process, but right now they are two separate areas. So they had been pouring all of the time and all of the energy and all of the development time into the graduation points because that is what the state had required. So there were some updates that happened on the other side of things for the graduation eligibility, which is that customization piece for each district. So basically they just updated the test drop downs, they updated specifics for assessments, that kind of thing. So you'll now see all of those updates in the graduation eligibility side as well. So on the grad point side, they are still going through and making changes and updates to that area also. On the student exemption requirement screen, there are now optional career tech. The requirement of exam has been updated to the WebEx, the web exam, and then corresponding descriptions have been also added in there. So that is on the graduation points side. So when they print out their plan, when they print out all of that stuff for the grad plan and the graduation points area, you will now see that updated information. The next release that we are going to get is going to have some other information. This is just in the areas that I thought would be for people that were attending this meeting. So Brianne and Shelley will go over all of the EMIS updates that are to come in your future EMIS meetings. But there are going to be some elective EMIS subject area credit options on the grad point summary pages. There's going to be new elective so for the grad verification piece, the eligibility piece, this is where you're going to see new core areas for the overflow page. And that's where we have the ability to say, if once they hit these 4 English credits, if they have a 5th English credit, we're going to flow it into this area so that it would give the students a little bit extra credits if your school requires 24 credits as opposed to 21 credits to graduate, or whatever it might be. There's going to be new driver's ed subject areas on the grad point screen and on the core overflow page. We're going to hide the 3rd grade reading guarantee section on profiles for FY24 moving forward. And then update to the web exam scores. The functionality was just added in this past release, so they're going to do another grad plan update to include those scores. The school year initialization survey, I have my email ready to go. If you have been around for a little while, you know that I usually send these emails out come November, and I give you guys a deadline as to when to return those forms. Hopefully they are getting to someone at each building, and each building is filling these forms out. This is really important for your high school, middle school, because no scheduling can happen until I get those forms back and we build that new school year. So we have the ability to start that process as soon as you return the forms. I don't have to have your board approved calendar. I know that's a big question every year. Most times those calendars are not approved until this spring board meeting, and that's okay. I can just put a fake calendar in there right now if you don't have that approved. The only thing that I ask is once you do have that board approved calendar, if you can get it to me so that I can go in and update all of the dates in the new system. What this initialization survey allows you to then do is I will build your whole new school year for you with an exact copy of what you currently have. And then you can, once it's there, we'll talk about when you want to pull your kiddos up. Once you pull your kiddos up, you can start all of your, your registration software for that new school year, your kindergarten registration. You can start scheduling process. We can start getting the requests out there. We can start the high school, middle school, really like to start scheduling probably in like the January, February timeframe. So that is something that cannot be done until these forms are returned. They are built and your students are promoted up there as for scheduling process that you need to have your kiddos moved up. So it's a lot of making sure that your progression tracks are correct, everything on your students is correct so that they can accurately move forward to that next school year and promote into that next grade level. So be on the lookout. I will send my initialization surveys out. I try to wait until after Halloween to send those out so that we can get through that first grading period. But are there any questions on the school year initialization survey? If you are new to filling these out and you're not sure how you've done it in the past, I do save the copies every year. So I can send you what you guys filled out last year. If that's something that you would be interested in, just send me an email and I can get that sent to you. This is one of my favorite things, and I just wanted to share it again. I share it all the time. I'm sure if I've talked to you on the phone and we've ever had to do anything with ad hoc memberships or with scheduling, I say, okay, here's my comma separated trick, because everything within student information, it seems like if you're doing groups of things, they want the ID numbers comma separated, and it saves so much time. If you have an Excel version of your IDs, your student IDs as to who you want to be included, this website, if you just paste your IDs on the one side, they automatically comma separate on the other side. So there have been times when this website has went down and I think I kind of go into a small panic attack because I use it so much, but I always find other ones. So if you ever have any questions or if it ever goes down, you can send me a quick email and I'll be like, yeah, I noticed that. Here, try this website too. But this is such a time saver. And if anyone has ever used it, you know how much of a time saver it is, especially when you're going through scheduling, when you're going through requests, when you're doing any of that stuff. It definitely is a time saver. So I just wanted to make sure that I shared this out there with everyone as well. Student pictures. I think the majority of you have already told me, our student photos are in. Either you've sent me the link for the photographer vendor and I went out and I've pulled them and I have loaded them into the system. I know retakes are happening too. So if you have retakes that are not loaded into the system yet, send me a quick email and let me know, or that way I can go ahead and go in and pull the photos again and make sure that they are all updated with retakes. If you need a Dropbox link, I can also send a Dropbox link to you. That has worked really well with several schools. I send the Dropbox link, you send me all the photos, and then I upload them. So it's been going very smoothly. If for some reason your photos have not been updated yet this year, please reach out and let me know, because I do not go out and just randomly, well, I don't have access to a lot of, obviously, to all of your schools. So if your photos have not been updated, more than likely I haven't heard from anyone at that building and or district to update your student photos. So please let me know. Reach out to me if they are not updated. I would love to get accurate photos into the system. It's good for your office staff. It's good for your librarians. It's good for your just everybody, your teachers, even for their seating charts. So just it's a good thing to make sure that all of your student photos have been updated and in the system. If you're curious about if your student photos have been updated yet, I do, like I said, I have a folder out there with who has been completed. So if you're questioning if any of your district or if any of your buildings have not submitted the photos yet, please let me know, and I can go through that process. And I can share with you who has and hasn't submitted them. Are there any questions for me before I pass it on to Beth?
Okay. And just to add to that photo slide, I should have put that on there. If you've submitted photos and Megan's put them in student information, Tiffany and I have also loaded them into workflows for librarians. So as those come in, we're getting those loaded as well for librarians. So, okay. Updating report card window dates. This has been in the system for a year or two, but I just want to remind you guys that anyone with principal access does have the ability to change a window date. So if they need to reopen the window for teachers, we're still happy to do it. They can still send tickets to us. It's not a big deal, but it's almost just as easy for them to click on report card dates from the principal homepage and change the date, just like I have on this screen. So they choose the reporting period and they change the end date to whatever time they want it to close. They can't do this if they have clerk access. You do have to have the principal access to do it. I do try to, when someone requests the window to be opened, I go ahead and open it, and then I try to send these screenshots back to them like, hey, just in case you didn't know, I check to see if they have principal access first, and then I send this back. But it's still fine for us to do it. We don't mind at all. I just wanted to show that, especially if it's a weekend or a holiday and they want it done, right away. It might be easier for someone with this access to jump in there. If it's a second 9 weeks or fourth 9 weeks, you can see in that drop down, you would also want to open the exam, semester, and final if it's the fourth 9 weeks. So you would have to open all the windows for those semesters. But yeah, super easy, but we're still happy to do it. Yep, that's good. Thanks, Megan. The building sign-off forms for gradebook. We're going to do something a little different next year. I'll still be sending those out in the spring, probably April, but this time they're going to be due June 30th, and we will not turn integration on for the building in August unless we have that form returned. So I wanted to start mentioning that now, so everyone knows by next August that we need that back. I still don't have several for this year. So it's just a nice check off that no one's making changes this school year. I have the report card window dates that I enter for the year. The grading scale gets marked off that there's no changes, or if there are changes, I can put those in. It's just important that we have that and that I have time to make sure you guys are set up when you do want the integration turned on. And I probably don't even get half of those back anymore. So That will be mandatory by June 30th. And then if a building requests their integration on it, I don't have it, then I'll just send the form to them and say I need this first. So that is going to be starting in the 25-26 school year. And then elementary report card changes. So on those standards-based report cards, those changes are also due June 30th, which is something I do every year. I do like to have those so I can get them done over the summer. I have made some changes this fall for people, and it just really complicates the system when we try to make those changes after the school year starts. So I think I just can't, unless it's like a typo or something like that, I can't really make any changes past the start of school. Any questions about that?
Good morning, Beth. Thank you for this information. Do those go to the principals of the buildings?
I send them to the team leaders and ask them to pass on to the principals. So I probably send these out. I think Sean gets some.
Can you
For you
CC
guys.
me,
Mhm.
please, for our district?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
Please.
problem.
I'll be the extra push on that.
I think you're on the team leader list now, Matt, as well. So probably everyone that's on this call today is on the team leader list. So if they get it from multiple people, I don't think that would hurt either.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, next slide. So there weren't really any gradebook enhancements in this release we did last Thursday. There were data map enhancements. I sent these out last Friday. I threw them up on this PowerPoint just so you have them again. Just a couple, the dyslexia screener is now available when you import. You would choose third party and you'll see that there. They've added columns for the Star Renaissance. You can go to the next one. I won't read all of this to you because you'll have a copy of this. Some REM codes that have been added, some that have been removed. I'll let you guys read those when you have your PowerPoint. And same with this, all this REM information. And then on this resolved issue, these advanced placement exam scores were not imported from SI for all subjects. And now the scores import correctly from SI to data map. And then so I put that list here. So you guys should have received that last Friday though. I just wanted to put that up there. Any questions about gradebook, data map? Anything? Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right. It's my turn, right? Fantastic. All right. So I'm Matthew Wagner. Like I said, this is my first team leader meeting. I've been anticipating this for a couple of years since I've been here. I started back in June of 2022. I'm your student database and application manager. I guess it's over that way. I'm not sure. I'm in relation to the screen for you guys, but as it says on the screen there, I started here, like I said, in June of 2022. I worked with another ITC, another part of Ohio. So I'm about as new to Progress Book as New Kids on the Block. So, if that gives you any idea, I've been working with Progress Book for over 20 years. And, I've been involved with a lot of key developments over those times, like custom setup 2. I worked with the developers one-on-one to create that, to make sure it worked really good for the member districts and for districts of Ohio. I worked with custom report cards and helping develop that part of Progress Book as well. So I'm very familiar with the people on the back end and working with them. What do I do for you guys? I'm here to customize Progress Book and make it work efficiently for you and make it do what you guys need to do to get your education done in your districts. And I want to help provide for our lack of member districts the best Progress Book experience in Ohio, period, or hands down anywhere. So how do I help you guys do that? If you guys need progress book to behave a little bit differently. Let's say maybe we want our teachers, sometimes they forget to post their assignments and stuff online for parents. Maybe we want to have it auto post to the web. So if you want like functionality like that, you know, you talk to me, be like, yeah, we want when a teacher makes an assignment to automatically post to the web, the way the parents can see it and everything makes sense. Maybe we don't want middle names to show up in gradebook or something like that. So, you know, certain kind of behaviors, we can change those behaviors to make it work a little bit differently for you, to provide whatever you need out of your district. I would like to come up with a list of different things, of different enhancements we can do for you guys. And hopefully at some point we'll start having district meetings where we can go over and say, these are all different tools that you could basically put in your progress book toolkit, and then you guys can kind of pick and choose what different kind of features you like to have in progress book to help your specific situation. If you need custom data out of there, if you're ever needing data out of the system, you know, you come to me, I'll get that data for you. That includes reporting. And the reason it says ding, 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 ding on there is kind of a little bit of what I'm gonna be talking about today is report builder. And when I came to LACA, I brought my whole toolkit with me. So I brought hundreds of custom reports. So if you guys need something, you're looking for a report, or you just want something a little bit different than what's in the system, you know, give me a ring, give me a call, give me an email, and we can see. I probably have a report that does exactly what you're looking for. If not, I could probably jerry rig one of my other existing reports to make it happen. But I can also make a report for you for scratch. So sometimes if they're simple reports, it could take a day. You know, if they're other really complicated reports, it can take longer, but we can get that set up for you. I also do the vendor integrations. So when you guys, you know, purchase other products, I'm helping Progress Book to talk to those various vendors so that the information can be sent over so those programs work for you. And just like Megan and Beth, I'm a liaison for you straight to the Progress Book development team. So, you know, whenever you need something, you want an enhancement, you want something changed, you have a concern, you find a bug or something's not working right for you, you know, let us know. And then our team here is the conduit to, you know, reach out to those developers and get those changes made, because Progress Book straight up is the best product for Ohio schools in Ohio. We created as the ITCs, the student information backend. I don't know if how many of you know the history, but we created that product for you guys. We took your member district money, we developed Progress Book. So it's developed by Ohio for Ohio, and it has all of the things that Ohio needs in terms of the EMIS reporting, and everything's Ohio focused. You know, we're not a California, we're not a Texas, we're not one of the little guys either. But the cool thing about Progress Book is that we made it. And so since we designed and developed Progress Book, we have a lot of input into the direction of updates, new things, like when you have House Bill 410, that goes in there right away. All EMIS changes go in there right away. We have these, you know, things coming up with this new House Bill 29 stuff. I'm sure you're going to see other changes, the dyslexia coming in that was covered in Data Map. All that stuff comes in right away because we're always focused on what's going on here in Ohio and making that happen in our app for you guys. So that is what it is. Let's see where I am on my agenda here. So let's go into the report builder reports. Perfect. Thanks for flipping the slide for me. All right. For me personally, like, you know, I'm doing so much stuff day to day, you know, like, oh, we're doing this for attendance, we're doing this, you know, lunch counts, all kinds of stuff. There's so many things, like, I almost forget, like what our school is, what are we doing out here? And like, you know, the key focus and the main purpose of schools is to educate students, right? You know, we're an education system. So the first report, I want to give you guys reports and give you guys value. Every time we have one of these meetings, I want to show different reports and give you stuff. I'm just going to give you one today because I didn't know how much time I have, but I'm still going to probably spend like a half an hour on this. I mean, I'm a talker, if you can't tell. I'm a kind of an extroverted guy, so I like to talk and give you guys value for coming to these meetings and show you guys things that can actually improve your district in a core fundamental way to help you guys out. So we're educating students, and most importantly, how do we show we're educating students? We evaluate them. You know, we're showing parents that we're providing education through a report card. We're showing the state that we're providing education. We're showing our staff are working well with students by, you know, how we're evaluating these students. So What are report cards? Report cards are these official documents that we're sending home from the school. And so they're very important because when I send that home, it's got the seal for the school on there, it's got the school's address, and we're saying these are your students' performance records. This is our accounting of how your student is doing at the school. So it's a very important thing. Thank goodness I brought water. What do we tell students like every day? We're telling students, do your best, take your time, work hard. Students are there at school every day. They're at home doing second shift of homework every night, studying for the big test, putting in all the effort. We're telling them to do all these things. And we want it to be learned and earned. So we really owe it to the students in terms of, are they important? Yes, to really provide fairness to the student. We're asking them to put forth all this effort and do all these things to help earn really great grades. We really need to do our best in return to the students and show them that their efforts are valued by putting in the time and effort to make sure that their grade that's actually on the report card is an accurate reflection of those, of that amount of time that they put into learning itself. So that's all about accountability, ethics, values, being a good steward of what these students are expecting of us. But what are the problems if we don't, or if we fail to do that? Unfortunately, we're a very litigious society, and especially when you start getting into those upper grades in high school, and you're talking about, first valedictorian and the second person at the school, we're talking about very fine numbers, very small decimal places of difference. So one tiny variation on a grade could potentially change a GPA, which could affect a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 scholarship. And if somebody loses out on a $30,000, $40,000 scholarship, that could be a huge litigation problem for a district if they're able to prove that something was messed up on your side and they lost out on that. Also, it's very important for your own protection to make sure these grades are accurate. Whether I'm a secretary, whether I'm a principal, where you are in this process, if I'm in there changing grades for students, we want to make sure that, we can avoid issues where, favoritism might be claimed by a student or a parent, or criminality. Was there a change made to a grade? Did somebody pay somebody to have a grade change in the system? I've been around 20 years. I've seen a lot of things happen. I've seen allegations of people changing grades. I've seen a principal who's changed a grading scale without board approval, and the board didn't like that, and that person was terminated from a district. So making sure that we do things in an accurate way and monitoring these things is not only good for the students, but it's also good for each of us because we're protecting ourselves from any kind of allegations against ourselves. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show a report that'll be a first step in kind of providing some of these protections to you guys. At the end of last school year, we had some calls come in, and it was kind of concerning with some of these grades. So I thought that I would start implementing some of these grading protections for you guys that have done at other places, and giving them to you. I do plan on, hopefully by the end of first semester, coming up with a whole program that's dedicated to this, where we could spend like an hour or two on the subject and actually make sure that everybody's covered it. I want to go over it with Beth and Megan, and I want to have a best practices that we create for our districts. That way we can make sure you guys are doing the grades in a way that are going to keep everybody safe and also keep those things accurate. I think that I'd like to take control of the screen if I could. Is that cool, Beth? Or is that cool, Megan?
You should have the ability to.
Fantastic. Go ahead and share my screen. Which we're starting off with the slideshow here. But so look for that. Look for this class that we'll put out here hopefully in the next 9 weeks. And sign up for that. I would recommend any curriculum coordinator sign up for that. Anybody that's involved with report card creation, generation, printing, anybody that's involved with report card changes, those types of people to attend that session. And we'll provide you a bunch of best practices so you don't fall in any of the common, pitfalls or traps that can kind of leave you in a murky situation. So, how did I develop all these things? I had a district that was really into a high accountability on these grading systems. And so I developed all these reports for them. And when I started running these reports, I actually found that there were a lot of these things that they were accounting for were problems at a lot of places. And what I was finding is dozens or hundreds of inaccurate grades at every single school district that was out there. So when you start running these reports, start seeing this, don't feel bad because it's out there everywhere. If you're not tracking it, you're not looking at it, then it's bound to happen. So this first report, and all these reports that I'm creating in the system for you also called report builder reports. If you're on the gradebook side of the application, like you see, I'm in gradebook right here. Are you seeing my screen? Okay, cool. I'm not seeing a green outline I usually get when I share my screen. So when you're in the gradebook side of it, you automatically have permissions to these reports. If I'm a principal, I'm going to see my report builder reports on the right side of the screen here. If I'm a clerical access, I'm also going to see them on the right side of the screen here. If I'm a teacher, teachers see different reports than what administrators see, but I also have ability to get my report builder reports right there. And if you're an administrator, you're going to see it here on the top of the screen. But since administrator can bounce to every screen whenever I run these reports, I just bounce to the principal screen because I like having this nice little list over here on the right side of the screen. They are all in alphabetical order, so I kind of categorize them: administrative reports, attendance reports, grade-based reports, things like that. But where we're going to focus on a particular report today here is this report card mark comparison by teacher. I thought this was really good timing for this. Everybody's probably either just completed their quarter one grading or is about to complete their quarter one grading, or maybe they're actually doing their grading right now. And so this is a report that's specifically for this time of the year. These two reports are basically the same. This one is by teacher, lets you print individual reports that run by teacher. So you can drop individual reports in each teacher's mailbox to get those to the teacher. I am in a demo environment, so this is not going to return anything. I'm just showing you this for explanations benefit. When I pop that report open, it pops up a little pop-up window and I just full screen it. And then I can select whatever report card I want. This says the demo, so I just have this testing report card, but you might want to pick your high school report card or whatever report card, your first grade report card, whatever you're interested in kind of checking out. And this is more important in middle school and high school, but it's also important everywhere. When we go ahead and run this report, what this is going to give you is an accounting of every student's grades. What's important to kind of understand this from the beginning. I'm just going to go ahead and run it. They're not going to see anything, but you have a class mark and a card mark, and those are the two sides of the operation of what's going on in your system here, where you have your gradebook grades, which is accounting of all the teacher's assignments and everything she's done with the student. And you have your report card grade over here, which is what's submitted to that official document that gets sent home to mom and dad. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that these two things match, because when these two things match, that means that everything is working properly and we don't have any questions. It's kind of like checking your receipts when you're doing your taxes. When I check it, I want to make sure I have all these expenditures and everything works. I want, when I check the result that I'm sending, that my receipts add up to that total so that everything matches there. I'm going to go ahead and bring up some examples that I ran. So this is one thing you might see right away when you run this report. And one other thing I forgot to tell you. This is also affectionately called the ouch report, because when you set these filters, it's going to show you every grade, not just the ones that are a problem. But if I say I want to set my checker, I want to check these grades, and it's equal to, and of course, because I'm a pretty funny guy, I use the word ouch. Whenever you see an ouch in there, that's a problem. If you run that report like that, it's only going to show your issues. And ideally, when you run this report, it should just come up blank like this. If you run your report and it comes up like this, we're A-okay, we've got no problems. If it doesn't come up like that, then those are things that you want to address in your district. So here's like one situation that will come up, and this isn't really as much of a problem, but this situation, my teacher has posted this student has a D+, and on the report card we have an I. Why does we have an I in there? Because the student's incomplete. Maybe they went to the hospital, broke their leg, got behind on their work, and they weren't able to complete everything. And maybe that's why they have a D+ currently, and we're allowing them extra time to make up that work because they were in the hospital. So your district policy, you might have 2 weeks to make that up, 4 weeks to make that up. But basically, this is also a great report for checking out those incomplete grades, because when those grades are realized and that window of 2 weeks or 4 weeks has come up and they made up their work, when we run this report, we would see all these things falling off, because then the report card marks would be matching the grades, and we would also be able to make sure that, yeah, all the grades that they turned in were accounting and it matches what's on the report card, and we're good to go, and it disappears, and that'd be great. These are broken on a page by teacher. So this is a teacher with one issue. You might see another teacher that's got a lot of issues. They got a lot of ouches. What's going on with this particular teacher? Looks like in their class, they've achieved a certain mark, but on the card, they've got a little higher mark in each subject. This student's got a C, but they're showing a C plus. The student's got a B plus, they're showing an A minus. What's probably happening here is the teacher thinks they're helping out their student, and they're bumping up their grade on the report card a little bit. They may be helping the student, or they might not. They might actually be presenting a false sense of security to a student as to what's going on there, and I'm going to explain that here in a minute. But yeah, we would always want these things to match. If there's going to be an educational reason for this, maybe we have some students that are really good participating in class, and so we're giving them, more credit towards their participation and their efforts. That's perfectly fine. But what we want to make sure is, if that's happening, that we're actually documenting that in the grade book and giving those students those bonus points for effort. You can even just put a bonus assignment in of 0 points, give them an extra 5 points, and then bumps their grade up a little bit. So we want those things to match, especially if you look here, we've got an F here and a D minus. This is failure. That's, barely passing. So it's very important. So that's one scenario that can happen, that the grade book is just not accurate. Now, if the report card grade's not accurate, say, hey, this kid's got C plus, is that right? If that's not right, then of course we just need to resubmit that grade so that those match what's going on in the grade book. If the grade book is wrong, then the teacher needs to work in their grade book and make sure it's an accurate accounting of how that student achieved this, D minus or A minus, or whatever you're looking at there. You also can have the opposite situation. You might not get called out by a parent. You might not get somebody that comes up with a dispute. Like, the parents see both sides of this operation. So parents are looking at this and parents are looking at this. So that's where the problem comes in, because when a parent says, okay, well, I see it, you earned a B plus, A minus came on the card, probably not going to complain about it. When we go the other way and I say, hey, we saw this whole quarter, you've been working your way towards the B plus, and then when we got your report card, you got a D plus. That ain't right. And those are usually when the chickens are going to come home to roost, and they're going to say, the parents are going to call, and we're going to say, we have a dispute with what's going on here. But sending this information out, usually in that time frame, when your report card window's open and these grades are being entered, you can start running these towards the end, saying, okay, how many problems do we have? And then send that out to the teachers and be like, hey, make this correction so that way the report cards are right. And I personally would run this right before I print the cards. That way I make sure all my grades are accurate and that we don't have anything that's other than an incomplete showing on this report that's a problem, because these are going to be problems down the road. I'm going to show you something in a gradebook here. So this is an example of a screen inside gradebook in which we are calculating a final grade for a student. And what you'll notice here is that we're not using the letter grades on report card, we're using averages from gradebook. Why are we using averages from gradebook? And going back to this particular instance over here. So where we think we gave this kid a D minus, he may in still fact, when it goes to figure his final grade, calculate on a basis of an F and not a D minus. So we're actually telling these kids they're getting a higher grade, but they're actually really getting, even though we marked it on the card as something different, they're really getting what's in the grade book. So that's a big problem. Why does that happen? I got an example here to kind of show you. All grades are not created equal. The Fs are usually a large area of our scale. But if we look at this scenario right here, these are the same exact scenario. A student receives an A and a student receives an F. If we're calculating on GPA, it's easy to calculate 4.0, 0.0 divided by 2, you got 2.0 C average. If you're calculating grades, as most Ohio districts do, especially in high school, middle school, by percentages, that same situation, let's say they turned in one assignment, got 100%, didn't turn in another assignment, got 0%, that averages to 50% F. So even though we have the same scenario here, a C and an F are very different results. So if we're using like I showed in that example, an averaging system for calculating grades, that D on the report card tells the computer nothing about how that student's performing. Was it a high D, a low D? I need to know that exact percentage, because it's going to use that percentage to calculate the grade. So a lot of times what it does is it goes back to that teacher's grade book. So when it's going to calculate the grade, it's really going to calculate it as if they got an F, even though on the card we're showing that they have a passing grade of a D. So that's a big problem when it comes to the final grade. And it's like, well, why is my grade showing so much lower? because it didn't really matter that you put a D on the card when the percentage is in the background is calculating it out as an F. So that's just another reason why we always want these things to match. So no matter what side of the equation you're doing these things on, everything is going to make sense. So it's a very important report to run. I would run it every probably every quarter and every interim time. So every like 4.5 weeks, I would run it as a minimum. If I was principal of school, I'd be running this thing every week because teachers, sometimes we forget, are human beings and humans make mistakes. And a lot of the screens have autosave. So if a teacher's in a grade book and they bump something and they change it, if you were running your report and you had no errors and all of a sudden you run a report and some kid's grade shows up and there's some kind of calculation problem in there, if you go to that teacher that same week and you say, hey, I noticed that Johnny's grade, something messed up with it. Like, oh yeah, I was looking at Johnny's grade, turned in some work or whatever, and I must have accidentally bumped something. They're going to remember that. If you run this once every 9 weeks, the teacher's not going to remember making that bump 9 weeks later. So it helps you out to run this report
Hey,
as
Matt,
often as possible.
are you going to have a training on some of your reports? And are you going to be able to just use that time to really dive into a lot of these, or?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna present a couple of them here. Usually it's not as in depth here. I just want to make sure the 9 weeks coming that we were kicking off the year right. And if we're just starting to check these now, we can start eliminating these problems up front as opposed to coming toward the end of the year and then having a huge monster at the end of the year where like, hey, look, this has been capitalizing out for 36 weeks for you guys and it's been accumulating. This kind of give you guys a stop to be able to get this in working order for you guys and resume jobs. Do not feel bad when you run this report and you see a bunch of issues. Like I said, every district I run this for, I'm going to see a bunch of issues. This is the way it is. It's nature of the beast. Once you start looking at these
Hey,
things
Matt.
and teachers, yep.
Sorry to interrupt. I actually think, why don't we go through the rest of the other group? And if anyone wants to stay on to do the deeper dive into this portion, and then we could get some feedback from them so that way the rest of the group can go ahead and do their slides, and then we can jump back to this portion, which is definitely more in depth.
Okay, let's wrap this up then, because I'm pretty much almost done already. So let's just wrap this up. So as a closing, you can run that report, you can run that ouch report. It's a good report to start off of. Just to let you know, if you're on the report builder, if you're on the gradebook side, you automatically have access to this. If you are on the student information side of the house and you want to run some student information reports, to get to the report builder and student information, you click over here, local, report builder links, report builder reports. If you navigate to this screen and you don't see any reports listed, you don't currently have security for that. If you want, you can call us up or leave an email or whatever, and we can give you access to the reports that also exist on the student information side of the house. But that's pretty much everything I want to cover. But that specific report is a very vital report, and I thought I'd bring that to you guys' attention because it's that report card time of the year, and that report's going to help you guys out. It's going to pay off in dividends for making your systems efficient and eliminating problems beforehand instead of having a parent call you out later in the year and then having to figure something out. That's it. You can share your slideshow again, Megan. Oh yeah, I think I had one final slide. We can go to my final slide. So there's my contact information. Anybody wants to get a hold of me, I got my phone number there. I can receive phone calls, text, leave a voicemail on there. If you want to add in a case for us, I always tell us si@laca.org. Stephanie might say choose another email there, but
That's not actually the work order anymore. So we just want to make sure we'll have the updated slide at the
okay.
end.
Awesome. Fantastic. So disregard that part, but that's what I was using before for people. Those are my emails right there. You can always instant message me on Google Chat or instant message me through Zoom on those systems either too. So thanks.
I did want to just
Thanks,
say,
Matt.
I did want to just say publicly that Matt has been just a great asset to us as far as integrating data. He's worked through a number of issues for our district, and we're just very thankful. So thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
It's in the name. Thanks, the two Matts. Hi, everyone.
Yeehaw.
My name's Jen Gary. I am specifically going to just speak of Same Goal, just because of the audience. Everyone does use Same Goal. LACA also currently supports SPS Refresh, which is a part of Progress Book. But specifically, I just wanted to let everyone know that Same Goal is more than just special education. I have listed like all the different programs that are listed and the different forms that are in Same Goal and available to the district at no extra cost. So these are the programs. I specifically, go ahead, Megan, sorry. So Same Goal, lately, I just want to kind of give you a heads up. Same Goal admin, they have, Same Goal has added an extra security that they just want to confirm with all districts as a Same Goal admin. They're asking that you go ahead and select this data sharing screen and give them permission to integrate with your student information system, which is currently happening. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. With the Senate Bill 29, Senate Bill 29. So with this, admins will see 3 options. They can choose to decline or choose that they're not the right person or save and accept. I want to caution, as I sent out an email to all of the Same Goal admins that are special ed, if someone declines this is going to cause integration issues. Most districts I have talked with, and they have assigned specific admins to approve this. So this is very important that someone does do this, that we do not want to lose connection with the demographics, or if you're using PowerSchool, you would lose your alerts that come from Same Goal. If you need more information, feel free to look at the blog post. Just to let you know, by signing this and accepting the terms, there are no changes. This is currently happening right now. This is just Same Goal, saying please sign this and that you still agree with the terms. They also included a helpful link to share with parents to explain what Same Goal is. It actually is a really good link. It gives information about Same Goal. So if you're interested in learning more about this, please feel free to click on these links. And we can go to the next slide. I also just wanted to kind of give everyone a heads up on what Same Goal / special ed, what we have been doing. In August, we had several trainings. I sent out an email to all the special ed admins in Same Goal and asked that they share these slides. And the main, I would say, for every single, so special education, Section 504, RTI, advanced learners, English learners, and K4 literacy, we had individual trainings online in August for every single one of these portions of Same Goal. And unfortunately, I didn't see the interaction that I would love to see, as most districts use all of these forms. So we would love to see more people show up to these trainings. In September, we did an in-person training at LACA and also a Zoom administrative training and a general user training. We showed newly added features, enhancements, and forms, and I think I had 2 people show up in person, and the Zoom call was maybe 3 or 4 tops for both trainings. So we would love to see more interaction. All of these events are posted on the event calendar, and at the end, I'll show you where to see that. But currently in October, I also sent out a link where I met individually with districts to go over their security, show them some new enhancements, talk about the new multi-factor authentication that every user had to do. And we're currently working on child federal count with the EMIS team. So October is a busy month. That goes all the way through December. So, and same goal just for general users, which most of you are general users. I just wanted to show under that, where my screenshot is, when you log into Same Goal, there is a question mark, and that question mark holds all kinds of information about Same Goal. I did point out the help. So if you notice, there's the help check marked, and on the side, you will see they have online guides, user guides, admin guides, specific questions about specific programs such as special ed, 504s, advanced learners, and so on. This is one great way to refer to in case you have questions or you would like to learn more about these programs. And then also underneath the help, there's a blog post that shows all of the new updates that come into Same Goal and information for all the different years. As you see, it also has our LACA, how to contact us for help in Same Goal. This is the same email that you can use for Same Goal. I do use the same gradebook at laca.org. You can send a ticket in and we can help with any questions or concerns that you have with Same Goal. Am I going too fast? Does anyone have questions about that? Okay.
Jenny,
oh, go ahead, Matt.
I just had a quick question about
Sure.
Same Goal.
Sure.
When we have staff members that are parents, we want to email. I've noticed that we can't use their school email to share documents like IEPs or whatever with.
That's correct.
Is it possible we can change that?
No. The reason why is it's a security situation. So a parent should always have their own email, because if they're using their school email, it looks like they're as an employee to the school district instead of a parent. So it's actually a protection thing so that parent can't change any of that document. But as an employee at the district level, if they had an IS and they're signing an IEP, they can actually go into that IEP and change that IEP. And as a parent, we don't want that to happen. We want them to be the parent of the student and not the teacher of the student, if that makes any sense, Matt. It really does help with security and shuts down any possibility of changes that should not happen.
It does make sense. I guess my only point, what you just said, would be if I didn't want a staff member to change the document, I would just put view only. So, but I understand the concept.
Yeah, right. And sometimes maybe that teacher that isn't as if that is an IS teacher, even they may have a student that is special ed themselves. So it is a preventative, because parents only have the access to sign documents. They do not have any access to actually change a form. So it is a security, and they talked about this, and this is that main reason that will never change. So great question, great idea, but yeah, this does help prevent security and questions about compliance issues. So thank you, Matt, for the question. Okay, so we can move on to enhancements. There have been several enhancements. I just put on a few enhancements that I thought the group would be interested in, because anyone that is working at a school district probably has some type of form of entering into Same Goal and may use it for different reasons. So recently, Same Goal only allowed administrators to run reports, and now they have added where non-admins can run reports. This is based off of your security and Same Goal. And admins also must update the security role to allow you to run reports. So if you are a user and would like to have more access, maybe to run certain reports, you would need to speak with your Same Goal admin to update that security role. And as you all know, Beth kind of went over this with DataMap. We have several the RIP forms have been updated this year. So if you are not, you want to make sure that, the updated RIP form is being used. You'll see the updated RIP codes and all of that. And for the meeting mode, while in a meeting mode, while in an IEP meeting or a 504 meeting, whatever form you're using, there are now different views that help protect your My Student List, any other information that parents should not be seeing during this mode. So I've included the link. If you have time, take a look at that. Okay, so email notifications. This is probably one of the best features that has been added for every single users. So if you notice underneath the bell, there's a little gear, and you can now go into your settings. Every single user has this option. You can now go into your settings and select the gear. And now you can receive an email if, say, an IS teacher is sharing an IEP with a gen ed teacher. You can now receive an email notification by selecting the little mail right beside the bell there. Also, if you are an owner of a document and a parent, you have sent this to a parent to sign, they can now look at the signatures by receiving an email stating that the parent has signed the document. So you know that that document can now be completed. You can now receive an email versus just looking at the bell. For all of the Same Goal updates, you can visit that link that I've shared. As I said, there's been several, and enhancements are coming as we're speaking right now. I just received an email today stating that now for amendments for IEPs, parents' initials can now be signed in the amendment piece. So that's a great enhancement also. Some upcoming special ed events. November and December, we kind of talked about this is going through the federal child count. Our special ed team's working closely with our EMIS team. And I'm sure as October 31st passes, this is going to be a big part of special ed right now, is ensuring that the data is entered correctly, reporting correctly, and everything has been entered for special ed. And so these are just some upcoming meetings and kind of a glance at what special ed is looking at. All these trainings are based on EMIS releases and also Same Goal releases that come out, but look for these events on the calendar. And Matt, do you have a question?
I do. So, okay. and I'm reading through the blog right now on the email notifications. Just a question about that.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm creating a web for a student and I share that out with a teacher or a principal or even a parent, is there a way for them to automatically get that email notification without them going into their settings?
they have to go into their settings and select how they would like to receive that. So instead
That's
of
terrible.
having,
That's terrible. To expect parents to do, and I'm not blaming
oh,
you,
no,
Jen,
no, no, no,
but that's a
not
terrible
parents.
design.
No, no, not parents. Parents, the only way that they receive. So, okay, I'm going to say this for employees using Same Goal. The employees go in and they choose how they would like to see that. They can choose by looking at that bell or looking into the email. For a parent, you're going to let that parent know, hey, I'm sending you an email. Click on your email, and that email will open up and take them in. They'll have to do an agreement that says, yes, I consent that I am the legal guardian or I am the parent of the student. So they'll agree to that, and it will take them automatically to that document. So what I just showed you is just for the users of Same Goal, not for the parents.
So in order for staff to be notified of anything in Same Goal, they physically have to go in and select that option.
So they should be looking at, so like our ISs, or if you're using Same Goal, they should be looking, this is new because it used to just be that bell up in the corner is how you received your notifications. So now they should know that I sent, Matthew Wagner, the IEP, to the parents. So they should be looking at that to know that they received that. But now they can receive an email and also select the bell to know that that parent signed the document, as it is their responsibility to ensure that the documents are getting signed. So
is there a way?
It's actually
is there a way to do? I'm sorry. Is there a way to do that from the domain for all users?
No, this is currently a new enhancement to allow the email to go. So it's up to the users, as some users get very overwhelmed with too many emails. So they did allow the user to select either an email, the bell, or both. So they can select both to do that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jenny. I'm not directing my frustration towards you. I hope you don't take that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But I think, just practicality. Most of our teachers haven't done this. When I share a web with them or I share whatever with them, they'll go, hey, did you send that to me? Yeah, it's in Same Goal. Now I have to tell them to do that extra step. It would be nice just to do it for all users and be done with it. But it's just my opinion.
And Matt, I send all these updates to the special ed team and the Same Goal team, Same Goal admin for special ed. So this would be a great thing to share out with all the users, like, hey, go in there. And if you ever want me to do a training on showing this, I will gladly do that. As thank you, Megan. We're just going to show you this. So here's how you can see some of my trainings. You can go to the LACA website and select the event calendar, and you'll see my events put on as time prevails and lets me know like when those enhancements and EMIS releases come out. You can also contact me if you want to learn more. Matt, I would love to meet with your team or meet with your teachers. I can do a quick Zoom or even come to your districts to provide extra support and even just show some of these enhancements that could improve all users. Here's my contact information. Please feel free to reach out anytime. Is there any other questions about Same Goal that I can help with? All right. Thank you, Megan. Bree?
Is Bree still on here? I know they have a EMIS meeting here in a little bit. I put this slide out there just so everybody is aware of the November EMIS meetings. I know they go over a lot of information in the EMIS meetings. So the next meeting, these are the November meetings. They have a meeting this afternoon, I believe, as Snacks and Facts. But The 5th, they have an EMIS Alliance on troubleshooting federal child count reports. On the 12th is an EMIS Alliance on teacher licensure and course status reports. The 21st is their monthly meeting, and then they also have the 26th for an EMIS Open Lab. So this is just kind of give you guys just an overview of the next month at a glance, kind of for EMIS. Shelley, Brianne, if you're on here, do you have anything to add to that one?
Nope, that's it. I'm sorry, she had to jump off, so.
You're good. That's why I thought I just wanted to double check. Stephanie, do you want to talk about Ippy Dippy, or do you want me to?
I can. I don't have a lot of updates, but last year when the ESS migration or creation was occurring, originally it was thought that the Ippy Dippy system would completely go away. They heard complaints on that. So they are working, predicting to start November 1st. I believe they might have already started it, but they're not ready to tell us that. But they're predicting 8 months to complete the building of the new program. So it would start November 1st with a completion date of June 2025. They will leave the current Ippy Dippy system open through next December, so December of 2025. That would allow districts the opportunity to migrate anywhere between July 1st and December 31st. They're hearing, not all school districts meet in the summer with their Ippy Dippy committees. So when we get more information in terms of very specific dates, I'll be sending that information out and keeping everyone up to date. But the plan is to move all current information in the system into the new one when they do the conversion. So just wanted to let some of the districts know that did not choose to go a different route last year, that it's looking as though the Ippy Dippy will be able to continue without too much work on your end. We will help with that conversion. So more information to come.
Thank you. And then just a couple of other quick housekeeping things. We talked about a little bit about the help desk. So we have, if you send an email address or an email to studentinformation@LACA.org or gradebook@LACA.org, those two email addresses are going to generate a work order, a help desk ticket to us so that we can then go ahead and all of the team will see it, and we can delegate the correct person to that ticket and get you the fastest support that you can have. So we've had a lot of people over the years, we've had a lot of different email addresses. So we have went through, and Stephanie and Charles are working hard to get these all cleaned up. So there used to be like an SI, a GB, an SSEM, if you've been around for SSEM days. There were a lot of different email addresses. So now if you or a user emails one of those old email addresses, you will get an automatic reply instructing you to send an email to one of the above addresses. So those are going to generate the help desk ticket or the ticket so that, again, it goes to the entire team, and we can go ahead and make sure that that goes to the appropriate people, so for the fastest response for you guys. So if you can make sure that everybody kind of is aware of that. If you click on the little information or the help button or the help or the question mark within Gradebook or within student information, and you submit a feedback form, those are the email addresses that go for that. So your teachers, if they have that, if they are used to the feedback form, they will automatically move to this area as well. So.
Hey, Megan, one other thing we learned, some of you send a support ticket in, but also copy specific individuals. And we have learned that that sometimes then kind of halts the process of creating the work order or the responses going back and forth. So we just want to make sure that when you use these to submit the tickets, it's best just to use the actual email address and not copy specific individuals. that will allow the system to work at its best in terms of getting that communication back and forth through the emails.
Thank you.
Hey, Stephanie, I have a question then. It's Kathy. So if I have like, would be like kind of an EMIS question, but like I know that Megan would know something about it too. How do I do that? How do I know
I'm on
who
the
the
EMIS
student
team.
information or EMIS ones are
They're-
going to?
They're
I'm on
all
the
getting
EMIS
the
team as well.
information. So behind the scenes, the whole team is getting copied on all of these as well as the EMIS. So that's just sort of a checks and balances on our end, and then they're able to assign it to who they need to, or somebody takes it. So just if you use the support tickets, then just know that the whole team is getting those on the back end.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And Kathy, just is for everybody, so everyone knows, we all see, like Stephanie said, we all see the tickets, but we do a really good job of communicating internally too, as far as Bree will send me a message and be like, hey, did you see Kathy's ticket? Can you take a look at this part of it? Or, you know, vice versa. So we do all see them, and you're good.
Thanks, because I send a lot. I feel like I send a lot. So
You're not the only one. It's okay. That's what we're here for.
The only work order that does not go to everyone is the help desk at LACA. It goes to an administrative path, and there are only 2 of us on that. So I do try and get those to the right queues as quickly as possible, but all of the ones that are specific to EMIS, gradebook, special education, student information, those go to the entire team. So you're pretty safe on those.
And Megan, I'm sorry to interrupt. I did have a question directly to me in the chat about Same Goal and creating parent accounts inside of Same Goal. And I will let you know that this should not be happening. And the reason for that is because parents, again, when they are shared the document, it is part of HIPAA and FERPA and part of the Same Goal agreement that districts have signed, stating that when a parent opens a document, that parent will confirm that they are the legal guardian of that student. So this goes along with HIPAA and FERPA. So I just want to ensure that districts are not adding parents as users, because they should be signing that they are the legal guardian of that student. So I just want to throw that out there. So thank you.
Thanks, Jen. We are looking to gather information. It seems like there's been a lot of turnover. There's always a lot of turnover, but this past year, I feel like there was a lot of turnover. So if you could, just someone from each district, just one person is fine. If you can send us an email to let us know each of your building principals, your building counselors, your building secretaries, and also your building nurses, that would be a huge help for us, because we're trying to get information that we can send and put them on an email group so that we can just send, counselors specific information about what they would need within the system. Principals, it would be great if that way Beth could send, those building sign-offs. If she had a principal list, she could send it to them directly as well. Or if I have a note that I need to get out about attendance for secretaries, or even we have some demos coming up that we need to make sure that the school nurses are included in. This would be very helpful for us as an ITC to be able to really specify that information to the correct people. We also really depend on you guys as team leaders to make sure that you're passing on the information. But this would just also help us to really kind of break down the groups for specific trainings and that kind of thing as well. So I know we just talked about email addresses. Sorry, Stephanie. This specific email address does not create a ticket. So that's why I'm giving you this one for this specific thing, because we don't need to flood the help desk with just information on all of your folks within your buildings. But all of the other things should go to those to these email addresses.
Megan, this is Diana. I have a question.
Yeah,
When you send those out to specific groups, will you be copying the team leaders on
I
those?
usually do as well. Yes.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. It's usually something that I probably have already sent to the team leaders, but I'm just sending to those specific groups as an addition kind of thing. So that kind of leads me to the next thing. I did send out an email. Oh, was it last week, this week? I don't remember. My days are kind of all blending together at this point. But I sent an email about the Frontline School Health demonstration. We are having a demonstration on Thursday, November 7th for, it's a Frontline product. It's a school health management program. There are a lot of different aspects within there. We would love if there have been some changes. Just if you've had a presentation in the past and the cost was a little high for what your district would like, we have new numbers, we have new support structure, we have a lot of different options that break down depending, you can kind of stack things onto different modules within the health management system. So if your school nurses are available, if you're available, if whoever, makes the decisions within your district is available, that'd be a great demonstration to sit in on. It is, like I said, Thursday, November 7th at 9:30. And there is a registration link out on our website. That way we can get an idea as to who's going to be attending. And we had a demo set up for attendance K-12. And I'm just curious, I kind of want to get some feedback here. Is anybody interested in an attendance K-12 demo? Are you still interested? Is this something that districts are wanting, are looking for? Anyone?
Just a little commercial about it. Our high school and middle school love it. So for
Awesome.
what it's worth, if you guys have questions about it, feel free to reach out to our high school specifically.
Okay, and it looks like in the chat, there are people that are also interested in it. So, okay, we'll work on getting that set up. Are there any other product demos that you guys would like, that you think is something like what Matt just said is working great for his districts, and maybe it would be beneficial for others to see it? Are there any other products that you guys would like to maybe have us do a group demonstration on?
I don't know if this exists, but something we struggle with is we have a number of staff members that aren't certified that we hire through the ESC, and there's no one place that we can go for all of our staff. And it's kind of spread out in different pods. So if you came across the HR piece of software that could incorporate the state software in some fashion, as well as for our classified staff, that would be awesome. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
What all are you wanting it to do, Matt?
Well, I selfishly want everyone in the same place so I can pull them to roster for different applications. That's my
The districts
intent.
that have that set up the best are probably using the Frontline Central, ASOP, onboarding, recruiting, and it's all in there. And you can use that for all staff, not just teaching staff.
Do we use it for aides?
You can put all staff in there. You can do time. So I can talk to you after this if
Okay.
you want.
All right.
I believe Southwest Licking has it set up the best out of our districts, probably.
Okay.
But
Yeah, could you send me a
have-
contact for them?
Sorry, we have the staff that Matt's talking about are ESC staff, so we don't direct pay them. So I don't know that we have them in our HR side because we don't, as a district, we pay the ESC, we don't pay
Right.
each individual person.
Right. They're
Okay.
subcontractors.
We can check on that. I believe contractors can go in there, but I'm not as familiar on that aspect, so we can look.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean.
Okay, are there any other, you know, things kind of like that that anybody else would like to see? And then we can work on getting all of this stuff set up and, you know, we can either do it as a whole or we can do it as just individual districts. If you think of anything, you can always send us an email, send us a message about it, and we can work on getting that set up. And then there was a question within the chat about sending the slide deck. I have my email already ready to send to you guys right after we wrap this up. And we'll talk about next meeting dates as well on there. We used to do these meetings quarterly. Is that okay with everyone? Are you good with the quarterly dates? Do you have any suggestions, any feedback on that? It looks like I got a thumbs up from Matt. So if there is no other feedback on that, that's probably what we will stick with. That way we can continue to review and kind of go through everything. But we will also, please be sure that you're checking our website for trainings that we're going to post out there. We do have, it's going to get busy here with the grading period ending, report cards going out, and all of that fun stuff. So just as a reminder, all of our staff is always available for a quick Zoom call, a quick phone call. If you have, you know, a PD day that you would like someone to be a part of, we do sit in on those as well. So please just don't hesitate to reach out. That is what we are here for. And if nobody has anything else, I think we are all done today. I know that EMIS folks have a meeting here starting here soon too. So I'll give you a little break to go get some food in you and then head back for your snacks and facts.
Appreciate all you guys. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Do we want to stop recording?
Mm-hmm.